Hello and good morning. Welcome back to the 5 Cent Cigar Newscast. I'm Sophia Szabo. Thanks so much for joining us. Coming up this week, we're looking at what it's like to travel and study abroad during the COVID-19 pandemic. URI's theater department and their first production of the season. The Wellness Center's new certified well-being mentors who are offering coaching for students. A new coffee shop opening in Wakefield with a unique artistic experience. And as always, make sure to stick around for your Rhody Sports Corner. The International Center continues its study abroad program this year despite COVID-19 concerns. There are still safety protocols in place for both abroad and exchange students, including a vaccination status. Although participation in the program has dropped recently, the International Center hopes that more students will join in the future. Juliana Lepore has the story.
With the COVID-19 pandemic, URI hasn't been able to send students away on study abroad programs since the spring of 2020. Assistant Director of Education Abroad Programs Tom Hospod said that with COVID-19 cases dwindling, students are finally able to go abroad once again.
This is the first semester we actually have students abroad. The numbers are much less than a traditional fall semester. We have just roughly 70 students abroad this semester.
Most students that are currently abroad are in Europe. However, there are a handful currently in Asia as well, according to Hospod. Hospod said that, unfortunately, not all study abroad programs are up and running again, which has caused some students to not be able to go at their desired time this fall.
Some locations are still offline, are not accessible, so in some instances it was not our decision because some students simply could not go. But we're optimistic by summer with the vaccination rollout that more opportunities will be available and maybe we'll see more students return into study abroad, similar to pre-pandemic levels.
Hospod assured students of the safety of traveling abroad this semester and in the future.
We have an international travel review committee that actually surveyed all of the destinations. They are also continuously monitoring the State Department, CDC, World Health Organization websites and working closely with our overseas partners to make sure the students are going to a situation that is safe.
As for exchange programs, URI was happy to welcome 127 new exchange students to our campus this fall.
Our numbers started to increase once again this fall, so we welcomed over roughly 127 new degree-seeking and international exchange students this fall, and they seem to be doing well.
Exchange students had to follow the same COVID-19 protocols that URI students had to follow leading up to this semester, such as proof of vaccination or approved exemption to be able to study on our campus.
They all went through the same process as our students, and they were welcomed and seem to be doing well this semester. So that continues, and again, we are starting to see numbers increase once again. So we're optimistic that the mobility will increase as we move forward.
Juliana Lepore, 5 Cent Cigar News.
It has been over a year since URI theater students have been able to showcase their talent on stage. This weekend, the theater department is back with Silent Sky, a historical play about prominent women figures in astrology who overcame adversities to make big discoveries. This week, I talked to the cast of Silent Sky about their upcoming production. Here's the story. This upcoming weekend, the URI Theater Department is performing for the first time in over a year with the historical play Silent Sky. The 5-person play tells the story of Henrietta Leavitt, Annie Jump Cannon, and Wilhelmina Fleming, 3 women who worked in the Harvard Observatory in the early 20th century. While they were underestimated, the women worked together to make major discoveries in the astronomical field.
And it's really important to know this story because not a lot of people know about her, and Annie and Will, who are all real people. And the fact that she was hard of hearing and wore a hearing aid is really important to her, who she is, and how the men at the time treated her.
With the help of the department's dramaturg, the cast learned mannerisms and nuances of the 20th century, as well as a deep history on each of their characters.
Especially since it's a period piece, the etiquette is very important to the women at the time.
Yeah, and how they act around each other is very different than how they would act when Peter enters the room, for example.
Yeah, and it was nice because it gave us a baseline, this is how women acted at the time, but then we could each take pieces of that and incorporate it into our character and kind of make it our own
live theater has been a huge relief to the department after over a year of strict COVID regulations. Although the cast members do not have to wear a mask on stage, they must adhere to spatial boundaries.
We've been working recently on intimacy moments like hugs and holding hands and things like that, which never were really choreographed or anything before the pandemic.
Nevertheless, the cast could not be more excited to be back in front of a live audience.
I've done shows where I'm in front of a camera on Zoom and I'm getting no reaction. There's nothing to bounce off of. So I cannot wait for an audience to see it.
Must be tough for you not to crack a smile on stage.
Oh, it's so hard.
Tickets for Silent Sky can be purchased at the Fine Arts Center box office, in person or over the phone. Prices are $20 for general admission and $15 for URI students, faculty, and staff. Information about showtimes can be found on the theater department's website.
The Wellness Resource Center, located in Bataille Gym, is now offering wellness coaching where students can meet one-on-one with a certified well-being mentor. Your coach can help you make a behavioral change in your life or guide you in prioritizing your well-being. Leila Cox has more.
Campus Recreation now offers well-being coaching for all URI students. Located inside the Anna Fascitelli Fitness and Wellness Center, well-being coaches offer free one-on-one wellness sessions to guide you holistically and support you through day-to-day challenges. Courtney Mackey, the coordinator of Fitness, Health, and Wellbeing, says there isn't a simple recipe for well-being coaches and their clients.
What the coaches do, it's free for students, first of all, which is pretty awesome. They meet one-on-one with students, and there's an option to do that virtually or in person at the Anna Fascitelli Fitness and Wellness Center. And pretty much what they're doing, they're using techniques like motivational interviewing to listen to clients and get to know them, to figure out how they can best support them. So there isn't a simple recipe of what we do with every client. It's not a cookie cutter approach. It's really meeting students where they are and supporting them however we can, identifying their strengths, previous successes, and helping them come up with their own goals. That way it's more achievable if they're crafting them themselves. And then the coach is able to hold students accountable. So it's not just a one and done session. There's follow-up sessions and support in between.
A well-being coach is trained to support you with goals or behavior changes related to stress management, time management, exercise motivation, sleep hygiene, goal mapping, and many more. Currently, there are 2 well-being coaches available to students, but the program will be recruiting in the spring. According to Mackey, peer support is a fundamental part of the well-being coaching program.
The peer support of meeting with another student, I think, is very helpful. So that's why we make sure to have students getting certified to be coaches and not just me meeting with all of the students, because they're in it with them, and so they know they're able to kind of help them with maybe sneak in a little bit of their own experiences in, just to be able to connect with students a little bit more.
Last fall, the well-being coaches started their podcast Holistic University to help students navigate their wellness journey. The coaches have discussed things like body positivity in the media, people-pleasing, finding joy in the little things, and many more. You can check out more of Holistic University URI on Anchor by Spotify. To set up an appointment with a well-being coach today, you can visit the Campus Recreation website to fill out a short questionnaire. Students can also reserve a time through their URI Starfish account. Leila Cox, Good 5 Cent Cigar News.
And now over to Aniekan Okon with your Rhody Sports Corner.
Thanks, Sophia. Hello and welcome back to another edition of your Rhody Sports Corner. Time and time again this season, Rhody football has found ways to win games. 3 of their last 4 victories have been by 7 points or less. Facing number 9 Delaware this past weekend was the team's first true test of the season, and one that they were just able to pass. Rhody looking to avenge a loss this past March to the Blue Hens. We picked things up early in the second half, Rhody up 12-0. Delaware quarterback Zach Gwynn gets hit but still finds receiver Tyreek Pitts, who corrals the ball on a second effort to give the Blue Hens their first score of the game. They would eventually take the lead after Quincy Watson breaks not 1, but 2 tackles to get into the end zone. Delaware would convert a 2-point conversion, so it was a 15-12 ball game. After CJ Carrick hits a field goal to tie the game, the Rhody special teams would come up big. Here, AJ Bebolt blocks the Delaware punt, and LB Mack scoops it and takes it to the house to help the Rams regain the lead. Delaware did have one final opportunity to send the game into overtime, but Jordan Jones here gets his 5th interception of the year to seal the 22-15 upset victory for the Rams. Jones after the game said he was simply trying to help his team.
Coming up the sideline, coach just said, talk about making a play for the team. I guess I just wanted to make a play for the team. I turned around, see the ball, and I just wanted to go get it.
When you look at how the game came down for us, I mean, it was a couple of turnovers that we haven't been doing, but it was a great victory. It's got us to a 5-0, and I think that we'll get focused after tonight on Taos and go to work. But great performance by these cats.
We are still under a month away from basketball season, but we got our first look at the Rhody men's basketball team when they hosted their blue-white scrimmage this past weekend. After playing a full season without fans, the team is just happy to have them back in the stands.
It's good to have, like I said, to have fans out, but it's so great to get it going against each other. Get some energy flowing. So
almost all the way normal. I know our players really appreciated the energy in here. Thankful as always to the Rhody faithful. I knew that they would show up as soon as they had the opportunity, and they showed up today in full force, and we really enjoyed the practice and enjoyed the environment.
And now, let's take a look at the rest of your scores around Kingston. Men's soccer picked up 3 crucial points on the road Saturday after beating Dayton 1-0 behind a goal from A10 Rookie of the Week, Isak Oistese. Women's soccer were stunned on the road on Sunday against Richmond after the Spiders converted a second-half penalty. And volleyball split matchups against George Mason and George Washington this past weekend. And that's it for this week's Rhody Sports Corner. Back to you.
A new coffee shop called Caf Bar serves fresh coffee in an artistic atmosphere on Main Street in Wakefield, where it just opened. The shop is committed to serving unprocessed food with locally sourced ingredients and is the perfect place to study and grab a coffee. Here's Erin Brown.
Hi everyone, I'm Erin Brown, and I'm a staff reporter for the Good 5 Cent Cigar. Caf Bar in Wakefield recently reopened its doors a few doors down from where they used to be. I went to go check out what this new place consisted of.
Caf Bar moved to 396 Main Street in Wakefield in order to create more space for customers to enjoy the welcoming atmosphere.
It's important to us to make it an artistic experience here as well. So when we hire our baristas, we try to find people that have experience already because it's easier to train that way. But if not, then we'll train them and we won't let them actually serve the coffee until we think that it's up to a high standard. The idea was based around just having something more wholesome, something, more organic or, made fresh daily. All of our smoothies are not, frozen food. It's all fresh food every time. Every morning we get deliveries from Belmont. We want to create an actual experience of home cooked instead of, just fast food and stuff. And still making it affordable enough for people to afford, to buy. And then creating experience with doing the artwork and the biggest part about a coffee shop is having a connection with your customer. That's my favorite thing. So I know everyone's order when they come in here when they're regulars. Yeah. And I can start making it before they even say it. And I know about their lives and they have my phone number and they text me on my birthday and it's all just a really lovely experience.
Caf Bar is open 7 days a week for indoor and outdoor seating. More info can be found on their website or on their social medias.
That's all we have for you this week at the 5 Cent Cigar Newscast. As always, make sure to check us out at rhodycigar.com and follow us on Twitter at Rhody Cigar. Reporting from Kingston, I'm Sophia Szabo. Stay safe, Rhody.